Thank you for purchasing the Usha Janome Fashion Stitch. We are sure you will be glad you chose this product and that it will reap years of satisfaction. Your new Usha Janome Fashion Stitch sewing machine is user-friendly and allows you to fashion professional quality creations that reflect your personality and taste. The Usha Fashion Stitch is an intelligently designed, lightweight, automatic zigzag sewing machine with a built-in light with on-off button. It integrates such advanced features as a built-in motor, a color-coded functional faceplate, 3 dials for pattern, zigzag width and stitch length selection, and much more in a compact body. Fashion Stitch comes with a protective hard cover and a carrying handle. It also features triple strength straight stitch function, a free arm for circular stitching, a single touch reverse stitch button, and a snap on presser foot. The Usha Fashion Stitch also features drop feet for embroidery and 4-step buttonholing for easy functioning. The Usha Fashion Stitch is a one-stop sewing device that allows you to create a variety of interesting sewing patterns with useful and effective accessories like rolled hem foot, zipper foot, transparent buttonhole foot, blind hem guide, and straight stitch foot. Other accessories which include bobbins, felt, a set of needles with a twin needle, an oil bottle, a seam ripper, and 2 screwdrivers make the Usha Fashion Stitch an irresistible and complete package. Connect the machine to the power supply, insert the machine plug into the machine socket, and insert the power supply plug into the outlet. Switch on the power to turn on the machine and the sewing light. Sewing speed can be varied by the foot control. The harder you press on the control, the faster the machine runs. The extension table that adds to the sewing surface can also be removed for free arm sewing. The presser foot lifter raises and lowers the presser foot. One can raise it up to half a centimeter higher than the normal position. It is also quite easy to remove and attach the presser foot. All you need to do is turn the hand wheel towards you to raise the needle to its highest position. Raise the presser foot. Press the lever on the back of the foot holder and the presser foot will drop off. To attach the presser foot, place it so that the pin on the foot lies just under the groove of the foot holder. Lower the foot holder to lock the foot in place. Raise the needle by turning the hand wheel towards you. Loosen the needle clamp screw by turning it counterclockwise and remove the needle from the clamp. Now insert the new needle into the clamp with the flat side away from you. Push it up as far as possible and tighten the clamp screw firmly with the screwdriver. Spool pins hold the thread to provide a constant feed of thread to the machine. In order to use a spool pin, simply fix the holder of spool pins in place with a screwdriver. Simply open the hook cover. Raise the needle by turning the hand wheel towards you and take the bobbin case by holding the latch. To insert the bobbin case, place the horn into the recess of the hook race. Draw thread from the spool and guide it around the bobbin winder thread guide. Now insert the thread through the hole in the bobbin from the inside to the outside and put the bobbin on the bobbin winder spindle. Push it to the right. Now turn the stop motion knob towards you. Hold the free end of the thread and depress the foot control. Stop the machine as the thread makes a few turns and cut the thread close to the bobbin hole. Depress the foot control again to fully wind the bobbin. Now push the bobbin winder towards the left and cut the thread. Place the bobbin into the bobbin case. In the anti-clockwise direction, pull the thread under the tension spring and finally into the delivery eye. Leave a few inches of free thread. Raise the take-up lever to its highest position by turning the hand wheel towards you. Raise the presser foot and place a thread spool on the pin. Now draw the thread into the thread guide and further down into the tension area and then around the check spring holder. Firmly draw the thread up and through the take-up lever from left to right. Now draw the thread down and slip it into the lower thread guide. Once again, slide the thread behind the needle bar thread guide on the left. Thread the needle eye from front to back. Raise the presser foot and hold the needle thread lightly with your left hand. Turn the hand wheel slowly towards you until the needle goes down. Lightly drop the needle thread so that it forms a loop in the bobbin thread. Pull back both threads up to 6 inches and place them under the presser foot. The thread tension is adjusted depending on the sewing material, less the fabric and the sewing method. When the thread tension is too tight, loosen it by moving the thread tension dial to a lower number. Conversely, the dial must be moved to a higher number to increase the tension in case it is too loose. Pattern Selector dial helps you to select the choice of your stitching style from the various given pattern choices. Use the stitch length dial to set the desired stitch length. The higher the number, the longer the stitch length is. Zigzag width dial helps to set the desired width of the zigzag stitches. The reverse stitch button helps you to perform a reverse stitch as long as it is kept depressed. The presser foot adjuster changes the intensity of pressure on the presser foot. Push down the adjuster to increase the pressure. To release the pressure on the presser foot, push down the adjuster again. To drop the feed dog, open the hook cover, pull down the drop lever and move it to the right. The feed dog must be up for normal sewing and it will always return to the up position when the machine starts running. With the help of Fashion Stitch, one can create myriad stitching styles. So let's get ready to sew with your Usha Janome Fashion Stitch and unleash your creativity. Point the pattern selection dial at A. Keep the stitch length from 1.5 to 4 and set the thread tension from 2 to 6. Place the zigzag width dial at the center needle position and set up the machine with zigzag foot. Place the fabric under the foot and begin to stitch. To fasten the end of the seams, press the reverse stitch button and sew some stitches. Point the pattern selection dial at A. Keep the stitch length from 1.5 to 4 and set the thread tension from 2 to 6. Place the zigzag width dial at the center needle position and set up the machine with zigzag foot. Place the fabric under the foot and begin to stitch. Stop stitching at the corner of the fabric. Lower the needle and raise the presser foot. Now turn the fabric counterclockwise 90 degrees. Lower the presser foot and start stitching in the new direction. Point the pattern selection dial at C. Keep the stitch length from 0.5 to 4 and set the thread tension from 2 to 5. Keep the zigzag width at maximum and set up the machine with zigzag foot. Place the fabric under the foot and begin to stitch. Point the pattern selection dial at A. Keep the stitch length at SS and set the thread tension from 2 to 6. Keep the zigzag width at center needle position and set up the machine with zigzag foot. Place the fabric under the foot and begin to stitch. Triple strength straight stitch is sewn with 2 stitches forward and 1 stitch backward, forming a seam that does not rip easily. Point the pattern selection dial at A. Keep the stitch length at the buttonhole length and set the thread tension from 1 to 5. Keep the zigzag width at the first buttonholing step and set up the machine with transparent buttonhole foot. Place the fabric under the foot and mark the buttonhole length. Begin to sew forward. Now set the stitch selector to the second step and sew till the first mark. Similarly, fasten the left and right stitches of the buttonhole with the third and fourth step of the buttonholing respectively. Remove the fabric and cut the opening. Point the pattern selection dial at A. Select any stitch length and set the thread tension from 3 to 7. Place the zigzag width dial at the left needle position. Set up the machine with zigzag foot. Place the fabric under the foot and tape the button over the placement mark. Now keep the zigzag width at the center needle position to align both holes of the button with the slot of the foot. Sew about a few stitches and your button is ready. Point the pattern selection dial at A. Keep the stitch length from 1.5 to 4 and set the thread tension from 3 to 6. Place the zigzag width at center needle position and set up the machine with the rolled hem foot. Place the fabric under the foot and begin to sew by lifting up the edge of the fabric into the curl of the foot. You can see a rolled hem perfected to finish. Point the stitch selection dial at C. Keep the stitch length at 1 to 3 and set the thread tension from 1 to 4. Keep the zigzag width at maximum and set up the machine with zigzag foot and the blind hem guide. Place the fabric under the foot after finishing the edge and begin to stitch. After hemming, the top side of the fabric should only show blind stitches. Point the pattern selection dial at A. Keep the stitch length at 1.5 to 4 and set the thread tension from 3 to 6. Keep the zigzag width at center needle position and set up the machine with the zipper foot. Pin or baste the zipper tape to the fabric and place it under the foot. Guide the edge of the zipper along the zipper teeth and stitch through the garment along with the zipper tape. Turn the fabric and sew the other side in the same way. Lock the zipper by sewing a bar tag and your zipper is ready. Point the pattern selection dial at B. Keep the stitch length at SS and set the thread tension from 1 to 4. Keep the zigzag width dial at maximum zigzag and set up the machine with zigzag foot. Place the fabric under the foot and begin to stitch. Point the pattern selection dial at A. Keep the stitch length at SS and set the thread tension from 1 to 4. Keep the zigzag width dial at maximum zigzag and set up the machine with zigzag foot. Place the fabric under the foot and begin to stitch. Similarly, select the pattern C and start stitching. Point the pattern selector at D and start stitching. Finally, you see beautiful stretch stitch patterns with Usha Janome Fashion Stitch. Before beginning with the maintenance process, always turn off the power switch of the machine or unplug it. Raise the needle to its highest position and open the hook cover. Now open the hinged latch of the bobbin case and take it out. Open the hook race ring holders and remove the hook race ring. Now remove the hook. Clean the hook race with a brush and a soft dry cloth. To reassemble the hook race unit, hold the hook by the center pin and fit it back carefully into the hook race. Attach the hook race ring. Lock the hook race ring by turning the holders back into position and insert the bobbin case. Remove the needle and the presser foot. Also, remove the needle plate set screw and the needle plate. Clean out any dust and lint clogging the feed dog teeth with a brush. Reset the needle plate. The sewing light is located behind the face plate. To remove the bulb, push and twist it to the left. Similarly, to replace the bulb, push and twist it to the right. For an uninterrupted performance, oil machine parts like the face plate, hook race ring and the hook at least once a year. Make sure you remove the excess oil or it may stain your fabric.